Hey folks, it's David at TED-IELTS with another speaking lesson. Today we're going to look at an interesting cue card from part 2 of the speaking test. But first, if you're looking to practice your IELTS speaking skills, then you might like our Facebook group. At the time of recording, we have almost 70,000 members, so you should be able to find plenty of like-minded people to help you with your IELTS journey. Right, let's get into today's lesson. The cue card for today is describe a time when you couldn't use your mobile phone. I think this is really easy to understand, so I won't waste any time analysing the question for you. It's about as straightforward as it gets, to be honest. The first thing I would do with this cue card is to try and think of a time when I could not use my phone. Of course, there are many times. Perhaps I could not use it at work or in a class. Maybe I couldn't use my phone in a meeting or when I ran out of battery sometime. There are many possibilities. Personally, I like to think of interesting topics because I can give an enthusiastic answer and would not run out of things to say before the 1 minute mark. Remember, you need to keep speaking for between 1 and 2 minutes. The thing that comes to mind for me in this topic is a series of trips I took about 5 years ago. I visited some countries where there was almost no internet connection, and so I could not use my phone very easily. I would choose to talk about these because it would be quite easy for me. The important thing, though, is to choose quickly and then make short notes. When you write your notes, just scribble a few important words or ideas that you want to remember later. In 2015, I traveled to North Korea to run a marathon. Due to the country's strict restrictions on communications, there is no internet service available. As such, there really was no point in having a mobile phone. In total, I was only in North Korea for about 1 week, and during that time I had to adapt to this quite startling change. It was quite nice, honestly. I think that these days people are addicted to their phones, and unfortunately I have to include myself in that category. Even though I don't want to use it all the time, I do find myself constantly scrolling through Reddit or checking the news. It's pointless, but it's something we mindlessly do. Anyway, in the first few days that I was in North Korea, I felt a strong urge to use my phone. I kept thinking of things that I wanted to post on Facebook or Twitter. I had witty or interesting observations that I wanted to share with the world, but it was impossible. This was really frustrating, but after a couple of days I came to an important realization, which was that using social media is like taking a drug. It makes you feel some sense of satisfaction, and so you want to do it again and again and again. By the end of the week, I realized that I did not have any regrets about not posting, but of course I could remember some times when I had posted things on social media in the past that I did regret. This was an important lesson for me, and over the next few years, I stopped using social media except for business purposes. As for my phone, I still use it more than I should, but I don't use it that much compared to most people. Around about the time I returned from North Korea, I actually deleted all the social media apps on my phone, and I later got rid of the news ones too, so that I had a lot less reason to spend time on my phone. Phew. In this answer, I pretty much ran through the whole cue card in just the first few seconds. I answered those bullet points about where and what and why really fast, but that's okay, because I had other things I wanted to talk about anyway. I felt that the last part of the cue card was more important, and I wanted to discuss my feeling of being away from my phone, which was quite liberating. Because this was about phones, I used some vocabulary that was appropriate for the topic, like strict restrictions, which is a little difficult to say quickly, internet service, addicted, scrolling, which means doing this, social media, and the word apps. There was nothing hugely advanced there, but that's okay. The important thing about IELTS is that you use language appropriately. If you want to know more about mobile phone vocabulary, you can go to TED-IELTS.com, which I've got on my computer here, and search for mobile phone in the search bar. You'll find lots of great study materials there, including some vocabulary. Okay, that's enough for today, folks. I'll see you next time for some more IELTS advice. Goodbye. Due to the country's strict